All right. A huge warm welcome to the official launch of the 2025-2026 Shaw and Partners World Ocean Series. We did a piece Trent did a piece last year where he talked about the origins of the series. It goes back 12 years ago. He was desperate, given people trying to get them to enter. So to now be sitting here truly means a lot. Just even looking at this incredible facility, seeing where this series has come to is truly a massive privilege. So firstly, a huge thank you to Race One Surfcraft. We're here. It's absolutely incredible facility. Really shows the trajectory of the sport. And joined by none other than we have got Shaw and Partners CEO, Race One co-owner Earl Evans. And we've also got some very special athlete talent. We've got Ellie Day, Lana Rogers, Lucy Derbyshire, and Finn Askew. So thank you so much for taking the time. Now, we do want to say a massive thank you to our partners, Shaw and Partners Financial Services, Race One Surfcraft and Paddles, Surf Lifesaving Queensland, and Jade Swimwear. Without your support, none of this would be possible, so we do really appreciate it, and we can't wait to roll out our biggest summer yet. So it will, once again, athletes, it will be your top 5 results are going to count, and we're going to have over $500,000 of prize money up for grabs. Absolutely incredible. Again, to go back 12 years ago, when, it was $50 for sort of winning overall prizes, to come to where we're at is just absolutely amazing. We are proud to announce the following venues are going to be the 10,000 point events. These are going to include Alexandra Headland, Manly Lifesaving Club, and BMD Northcliffe, which will once again be a double header. The 7,000 point stops are going to include Wauchope, Bonny Hills, Maroochydore, and Glenelg. And the 5,000 stops include Hossegger, Fistral Beach, Burleigh Heads, Wanda, Coffs Harbour, Warrnambool, Torquay, Freshwater, Bryden, Gisborne, New Zealand, and Lorne. The full dates will be available on our website. And for the youth athletes, last year was such a success. We will be going again at the Shaw and Partners Hayden Kenny Classic on the Sunday. The under 11 to under 14s will be racing again. And at the Wauchope Bonny Hills, we will be once again running the Race One World Youth Championships. So that is going to be absolutely incredible. All the information is going to be available on the website, including the full dates. So you can check that out there. Now, I do just want to pass over to Shaw and Partners CEO and Race One co-owner Earl Evans. He has been instrumental in the success and the trajectory of the sport. So I guess, Earl, I'll pass it on to you. How are you feeling about going again for another year?
Oh, it's exciting. I think for us, it's something that now we're coming into our 8th year involved in the sport as a major sponsor. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's great to be aligned with fantastic athletes, not only here but for the series ahead. I think again the series has really grown and developed. The marquee events have got over 1,000 competitors at each event. The competition's getting better and better and better. And again, to look back to where this all started. 8 years ago from our perspective, I think from our side we always said we like long-term partnerships. To partner with yourself and Trent and the team has been awesome, and we wanted to continue. So you wanted to continue to grow. Looking at you guys did an overseas element to it this year in France and the UK, which is absolutely enormous. It just shows how things are growing and what your team's delivering between yourself, Trent, and the World Ocean Series team. So congratulations on that. But we're really looking forward to the 25-26 series and lots of great events coming. So thanks for involving us again.
Awesome. And as I said, just cannot thank you enough personally, and seeing the impact your support has made, and just it's truly changed the game and will forever change the game in surf sports. So really, really do appreciate that. And I guess Ellie Day, you can be the first athlete up.
Perfect.
Ellie,
that's working, isn't it?
Now,
Yep.
There was talks, maybe you might have looked at hanging the togs up potentially at the end of the last year. You're going again. Explain what's the main motivation for that.
Yeah, good question, mate. Probably the guy next to me he put no pressure on me at all. Look, I think, I feel like I've got a lot left to give. I love the sport, and there's going to be a time like you're a long time retired, right? So I still remember doing the events with Trent, the SIQS events, those 12 years ago. It's amazing to see where the sport's at. The racing's phenomenal, but just turning up to the beach, at those awesome locations this year. It's a real spectacle. So it was something that I definitely, as I said, had a lot of fuel left in the tank and ready to give it my all, but also enjoy the journey. I'm really looking forward to going to Warhope Bonny Hills. I didn't know about Burleigh, and obviously love being involved with the doubleheader at Northcliffe as well.
Awesome. And I will just, while we've still got you, it has been really cool seeing Cal's obviously sort of follows your journey as the whole family. And how are you finding it? Obviously now with 2 kids. How are you finding racing?
Well, that's a big part of why I'm coming back, or why I'm still racing. Like, they give me so much motivation, obviously, but we make it, as much as a holiday for them. Obviously, Dad's there to work, but most of the time it's exciting. There's a new water slide, a new pool. It's takeaway for the kids. It's long days on the beach, and they're some of the most special memories I've had. Racing, winning. Whether it's a good day or a bad day, the kids are there. Kel's there by my side, so it's I'm looking forward to going away today, booking all the accommodation. I know Danny, Kel, and Andy will be really excited, and looking forward to doing it one more year.
And probably last one, any predictions what we can expect from you for this year? Any goals?
Oh, mate, same old, same old. Obviously, every athlete here on this table and all the athletes out there watching today, everyone wants to win. So I just want to be as consistent as I can, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey of it, really sort of soak it up, celebrate it, but obviously as well at the same time want to win too. So, that's the goal.
And actually, last one, who are the threats? Who are you sort of going,
You know me, mate. I'm a fence sitter. I'm not going to say anyone. But look, there's 20, 25 guys. I really feel like there's a lot of serious talent coming through in that. You saw it last year in that 17, 19 age groups. Your Henry Simpsons, your Riley Hartlands. I feel like that's why I sit on the fence, because I feel bad not missing someone out. But obviously those your people like your Ben Carberrys, your Finn Askews, all those sorts of guys are going to be thereabouts. And we saw last year, particularly in the men's field, the most consistent guy wins, and that's what we're all trying to strive for and do. So, you can throw. There's probably 10 or 15 guys that can definitely do the job.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Really great to have you back racing this year. You do add a lot of value to the series, and it's great to have you running around for what may be the last year, and we'll revisit. Who knows? We'll see. Lana, I'll get you to pick up the microphone. So, Lana, you have pretty much achieved, you've got such a long list of achievements. Probably a similar question. What's motivating and inspiring you to be back racing this year?
Yeah, as an older athlete now, I just really have done those performance-based goals, and I'm really focusing on what I can achieve with those 1%ers and what I can get out of training and racing at the same time.
Yep, and looking forward to the summer ahead. What is your kind of focuses?
Obviously, getting better at those 1%ers, as I said, but it's also getting exciting for this series. I am really looking forward to this World Ocean Series because it is based off consistency, and I'm just excited to put my foot on the line again.
And what locations are you most looking forward to racing at?
Always BMD Northcliffe.
So you're looking forward to the doubleheader?
Yeah, definitely.
And I guess same sort of question. Who's your biggest threats for the year ahead, do you think?
I'm going to go with Ali. I'm going to be a fence sitter, but I know there's a lot of fresh talent coming through. So I'm really excited to see who's going to come through and, give kind of us older guys a run for our money. Yeah.
And how's all the prep going so far, back training?
Yeah, it's going. I know. I think I'm putting together a good block at the moment, and then it's just kind of making sure I'm not getting sick and I'm not getting injured and I'm ready to go.
And are we probably best, hopefully, are you hoping to have the best year yet?
I'm hoping. Yeah, we'll just take one step at a time.
One step at a time. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Similar, Lana, great to have you. Really appreciate you making the time. Lucy. So Lucy, I don't know if you drove it here today, but you won the Shaw & Partners Iron Series last year. Firstly, how's the car treating you?
It's so good. I did drive it here. Driving it everywhere. I think Finn's probably driven it more than me, but I'm loving it.
And how are you finding as an athlete having all of these opportunities that probably weren't there go back 6-7 years ago to now there's options to win cars and serious prize money?
Yeah, it's amazing where the sport has gone, especially in the last few years, and not only not only the prizes and the prize money and the cars, but also it's amazing to see the sport go to different places. As you said, like you guys just had a World Ocean Series event in Hossega, and especially for me, I come from South Australia too, so it's really exciting to see a few more races go down there. And I think you mentioned Glenelg, so I have to go back and book that again. And yeah, it's really exciting.
And talk me through, so yeah, is Glenelg probably one of your favourite stops for the summer?
Definitely Glenelg. I do love the travel, and I love last season going down to Sydney a few times. That was really fun, but Glenelg will definitely be a favourite for me, and yeah, it's a really awesome event.
And last year, it seemed you and Finn really took advantage of those 5,000s. Like you guys went and raced at Coffs Harbour. Looked like you had a ball jumping off the wharf and things like that. Yeah, talk me through, I guess, how it is travelling together, but also, you know, the going to these stops and really making the most of it.
Yeah, I think it travelling around really takes the pressure off. I guess it's always makes things a bit more lighthearted, a bit more fun, and it's really cool to be able to go and kind of see places that you normally wouldn't go to. And yeah, I'm sure we'll go back and do some more 5,000s this season as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And probably a bit of a rapid fire. How's your training going? And also, who are you sort of looking out for the summer ahead?
Yeah, training's going really well at the moment. Trying not to get sick, which has been kind of hard on the Gold Coast. But yeah, it's going well. And I'm not really sure. I haven't really thought about it. I've kind of been more focused on myself and kind of getting prepared for this season's racing. So have to come back to me on that one.
Awesome. And last one, summer ahead. How is it shaping up? What are you most excited for, performance-wise as such? What event would you love to win?
I think there's so much to look forward to this season. Like obviously there is the World Ocean Series, and to be honest, last season I wasn't really happy with my performances in the 10,000. So this season I would love to improve that and put my foot in for the overall series for that, and potentially win another car if that's on the if that's an offer there. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that, and probably the gold.
Amazing. And I will confirm the cars are back on the table. Does that sound correct? That sounds right? All right, mate. So great news for all the athletes. The cars are back, so extra incentive, which funnily enough, there is 3 of the 4 athletes up there have won a car thanks to Shaw & Partners Financial Services in the last sort of 2 seasons. So I guess we'll go to Finn. Kind of the odd one out, but a lot of years left for you. Firstly, yeah, what summer ahead? Would you like to try win a car?
Mate, I'd love to win a car. Same as Lucy, I've really struggled with putting together a really consistent World Ocean Series events and that. So that's been a big goal of mine going to this season. I really want to be able to be at the front end of every single one of these races and, yeah, you know, put my name in the draw to potentially win one of those cars.
And you being sort of a younger athlete, but huge breakthroughs last year, winning you won the World Ironman Championship. Talk me through that. Again, you're similar from a small regional town. So what does it mean to now be sort of in the bright lights and racing?
Yeah, you know, it's pretty awesome. We actually have a 7,000 down in Wauchope, Bonny Hills, which is the branch that I grew up in. So I've raced there a lot, so I'm really looking forward to racing there. But yeah, to come from a small little country town down that way and be able to win some races on the world stage I'm really proud of my efforts. And, you know, I will remind everyone that I am the World Ironman champ because I'm very proud of it. And, you know, I'd love to add a hell of a lot more races to my resume. So hopefully a few World Ocean Series events.
Yeah, and I'll quickly correct you. Shaw & Partners World Ocean Series. We've got to thank the sponsors. But, Finn, you have never been afraid to actually put yourself out there, which athletes we are really encouraging. It's really good for the sport. Do you want to sort of put yourself out there a little bit? Like, what is this whole summer going to be whitewash Finn Askew getting dubs or what?
As Ali said, it's always the plan to win every race. Not really satisfied if it doesn't go that way. So that's the plan, and if it happens, don't be surprised. But if it doesn't, maybe don't be surprised either. So we'll just see how it goes. I'm just really looking forward to putting my best foot forward and just having some real hard competitive racing.
And how's the winter off-season going?
Yeah, it's been good. Had a really good off season, really good mental reset. So I feel like that always just allows me to really just apply myself throughout these winter months when it is a bit colder on the Gold Coast and get the Ks done and get all the sessions, tick all the boxes. So everything's looking good so far, and yeah, should be a good summer ahead.
Cool. And probably the last one before I go to Max, who I know may have a couple of extra questions. Seeing the stops like Hossega, UK, as well as all these regional towns, you love surfing. Yeah, I guess our circuit that we've sort of put together and it keeps growing year on year. You're also a younger athlete. Yeah, just talk me through the opportunities that exist with the locations and also, geez, just the prize money that's on offer and how much it can really change your life.
Oh yeah, the Shore and Partners World Ocean Series, you know, it's amazing. There's so much money on offer, amazing prizes, the best competition in the sport, and then yeah, add in some amazing overseas locations. I also love going back and yeah, racing down in the country towns like Woolgoolga, and we've raced there before. I think we get Warhope, Bonny Hills, all these races. I feel like it's just really like connects with me. It feels a lot like home, and yeah, it's just a little bit more chill than being on the Gold Coast and that, and just love to be able to just, you know, relax and just go around and, you know, have fun with it all.
Awesome. And I will cross to Max, who may have some more questions.
Guys, I'll start with you. Obviously, racing looks really different than it did 10 years ago, like sharper, faster. How have you adapted to that? And are you doing anything different this season, you know, to keep up with the younger guys?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it definitely has changed. Obviously, the formats, you know, the sports science around each and every race. There's more racing than there ever has been. So I think it's, you know, I've got you know, great coaches, right? Zane Hamill, Kyle at the pool, and Joseph Coyne in the gym, and I think it's just having the constant communication all the time about what we're doing well, what we're not doing well, what we can improve on. So I think this year we haven't changed all that much. There's been a few different things in the pool and in the weights, but in terms of, you know, the same mindset still applies. And as I said, like if there's areas to improve on, or you know that we think we can make better, we have been doing that. So yeah, I think hopefully that answers your question, mate. But yeah, off the top of my head, there hasn't been one thing that I've gone away and said I need to change this or I need to fix that.
You're right in like the meaty part of the curve of like, you know, you've been the one to beat for probably the last 2 or 3 seasons. With a couple of like really good results, you start entering, you know, a greatest of all time debate type stuff. How important is it with a World Ocean Series title to kind of strike while the iron's hot? You know, like to make sure that you're all these races are counting while you're kind of in your prime.
That's a good question. I just want to, again, keep it consistent as best as I can. You know, this has become one of the big races throughout our season, and I was able to win it once, and I feel like I can do it again. Do I have a 5-year plan? Sure. Do I know what that looks like? Yes and no. But this is on my radar. This is the one you want to win. Massive prize money up for grabs, plus a car. So it's really about me switching on. Yes, last season wasn't that consistent. I think it was pretty hard for me mentally coming off the 23-24 season. So I think, again, finding those 1%ers to get me ready and to get me mentally ready as well, and then just kind of be switched on, especially for those 10,000 events we have coming up.
Obviously, you won the Shore and Partners Iron Series, but second in the gold. We haven't really seen you kind of dominate the World Ocean Series arena. Is that a priority for you this year?
Yeah, for sure. I had a really good, consistent season last season, just in everything except the World Ocean Series. But yeah, I think this season I'm not going to change too much because I do love racing in the Shore and Partners Iron Series, and I love racing the gold, but I do really want to do well in this series, so I think I'm going to have to go back this summer and definitely change a few things and probably put a little bit more focus on this racing.
And Penny, by your own admission, you did have the World Ocean Series you wanted. Obviously, you won the World Iron title in, I think, October last year. Did that have any part to play in maybe rocking up with a bit of pressure on your shoulders all season? Did that play in the factor?
Yeah, I always think I race fairly pressure-free, but I feel like it does get to you maybe on a subconscious sort of level. I've just always really struggled with this shorter, sharper faster and more exciting sort of racing. So, same thing, going back to the drawing board, talking with Zane, got some awesome club mates, you, Maxi, Ali, Luce, just really try and put a bit more focus on that this year. And also, just taking a step back and not being so in on it all, and just actually really enjoy racing and the whole experience around there, because it is an awesome carnival. And
Just start again. We good? Earl, you got your fingers in a lot of pies. You like lots of different sports. What is it about surf lifesaving specifically that you choose to invest in it so heavily, and where does this passion come from?
It's sort of developed over the years, I think, as I've got to know the athletes, what goes into it, and at all levels, from being a nipper, the surf clubs, I think you touched on it before, just the effort and the energy that people put on to actually patrolling the beaches, and I suppose just the deep-rooted appreciation for the whole community or tribe, if you want to call it that. And it's really just growing. I think it's grossly, as I've said many times, underappreciated. I think these are, without a doubt, some of the fittest athletes in the world. I think it's amazing what they do. I was actually just talking the other day to someone saying, the surf and the conditions that some of these athletes go out in, I just in a bit of awe. I love the competition. I think the Shaw & Partners World Ocean Series, in my view, is just the hardest one to actually win. It is about consistency. I think, as Finn said, it's short, it's sharp, and it's challenging because you blend that in with another series which is longer, and you've got to adapt to all of it. If you put it in tennis analogy, one week you're playing on grass, the next week you're playing on hardcore. It's very, very hard to do. But really, it's become a passion of mine over a period of 8 or 9 years now. I think this is our 8th year that we've been involved. We've committed a lot of funds to the actual to the series and to the sport, and less so from a monetary perspective. We're very privileged to be able to put in and to give back to the sport. All of my staff love it. They follow it on a weekly basis. We always replay all of the races on a continual basis in our offices around the country. We've just actually, in your motherland, acquired quite a big business in New Zealand, so they're starting to get a little bit indoctrinated into it. We've done a session with them already on some of the sports that we're involved in, but they all came back to tell us more about the Iron Series and the like. So we'll make some announcements in regards to New Zealand very shortly. And again, I suppose that extension of that is Race One Surfcraft here at the beautiful facility that we bought a couple of years ago. We're just refurbishing the 4th factory, and we'll make some really good announcements to what we're going to do in that factory shortly. It's like anything, you just like to grow and develop, and my appreciation, Shaw & Partners Financial Service appreciation, Race One Surfcraft appreciation for the sport, the athletes, the clubs, just across the board has grown every year. Nothing's forever. I can't say I'll be here for all of my life. We all come to a finite end at some point. But we're certainly good for the next few years. I definitely want to clock up 10 years as a major sponsor of the sport, but just have a deep-rooted passion for it, and it's grown every single year. And I think, having conversations with Ali, who sort of had maybe some thoughts of retiring, and after a bit of twisting of knees and arms and all sorts of things, we got him to go around another year, and that my relationships with the athletes has been very special to me, and like I've said many times, it's given a lot back to me personally. So whilst that's the case and there's appreciation there, you keep doing what you're doing. But it's just a great sport.
And you touched on underappreciation of the sport. Is that a bit of a side quest? Do you want to see this kind of take that next step into the mainstream and be an A-grade sport in Australia and around the world?
Well, I think, look, that's always been the dream. I think if you go back 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, technology didn't allow you to actually follow this sport in the way that it actually is now. With the advent of drones and technology around cameras and so forth, there's just so much more we can probably do. I think Trent and Ben have just done a wonderful job. I think SLSA have done a great job in promoting this series. For whatever reason, it just hasn't kicked off mainstream, which I just think it should. And I think there's a number of sports. This is not the only sport that's in a similar position. If I look at supercars, I'm an owner of one of the supercar teams, Red Bull Ampol Racing, and also a shareholder in the main series. And that in itself is having to go through a reincarnation. It was very strong in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. In the last 5 or 6 years, it's dropped off a little bit. So how do you reinvent it and re-engage to bring it back to where it should be? This has definitely got the makeup of it. It probably needs to, there's a couple of things that probably for this conversation not worth going through, but it needs to evolve and change a little bit to be picked up by mainstream. But it's got all the makings. It's a phenomenal sport, and it's bringing in the the junior events and the under-19s, and just watching the talent come through. What I've got most out of it is you look at the athletes here, some a little bit older, some a little bit younger, but the kids that are down around 13, 14, 15 that are actually looking up and saying, I want to be that person, I want to race, I want to win a car. It's become a bit of a status symbol. I want to take one of those cars away. I think it's going to evolve over the next few years. That's my hope.
And we had a lot of fans sitting, and you said that all the Shaw and Partners officers definitely get around the sport. Do you have a favourite athlete or a...
Oh, I've got a number of them. One just retired, Georgia, but I like them all. I genuinely was happy. Okay, Ali. No, but a lot of people said to me, "Oh, you must have been unhappy last year that the Connor won on a different craft. Do you wish it could have been one of your athletes that we sponsor or look after?" And not really. I thought it was fantastic for the series that there was a different junior, different name other than the beloved one here. But it's just great for the sport. And there's just lots of young kids that are absolutely thrashing. I think Finn winning the world title last year was huge. Just huge. Not everyone's going to be able to call themselves a world champ. He's got a lot to achieve. To come back and to win this series would be massive. And he's got the ability and the talent to watch them all create and develop. But I like them all. Obviously, like all things, you have your odd favourite. But I'm agnostic. I just want to see good competition, great racing. I don't really care too much about the craft. Obviously, I'm rooting for race one craft, obviously, but to me, it's about the sport and the passion and the integrity of it. And I think that's what this series actually brings out: genuine passion, integrity, consistency. I love the holistic nature of it. 1,000+ competitors at every event. That just turns and creates an unbelievable audience. So,
All right. Would anything else anyone like to say? All good. Well, I will just conclude once again. Huge thank you, Shaw and Partners Financial Services, Race One Surfcraft and Paddles, Surf Life Saving Queensland and Jade Swimwear. Without your support, also to all of the host surf clubs that are making this possible, as well as all the athletes that are training and support the events, all the way through to, as I said, just all the parents, the families, the communities that do get behind this, all the swim coaches, the physios. Like, it truly is amazing on race day to sort of see and just how many people are involved in this, and we do take great pride in, we're striving to run the best events that have ever been ran in the sport, and we really hope that we can bring that to you this summer. And once again, without the sponsors, it would all be just a plan. So really looking forward to a huge 2025-26 Shaw and Partners World Ocean Series. It is going to be bigger and better than ever, and all the information is available on the website.